Hello there.
Hello,
Hi, my name is Gary and I'm from England. What's your name?
my name is Yildirim. I'm from Turkey.
Hi, Yildirim. Nice to meet you. I've visited
Nice to meet
Turkey
you
many
too.
times before. Which city do you live in?
Istanbul.
Okay, I used to have family living in Istanbul. Let's see, in Bahçelievler, in the European side of
Yeah,
Istanbul.
yeah.
Okay. So how can I help you today, Yildirim? Do you have a particular topic you would like to cover?
Actually, I don't think about a topic. Maybe it's a simple conversation.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we can start with that.
Okay. Just to give me an idea, what type of things are you interested in?
Actually, I'm not sure right now. Maybe we can talk about England.
Yeah, okay. So please feel free to ask me any questions about England.
Are you living in England right now?
No, I've emigrated, but I am from the north of England originally. My hometown is called Scarborough, in the area called Yorkshire. However, now I live in Asia, and I've been living in Thailand now for quite a number of years.
Okay. Actually, no any other countries from the London right now.
Oh, okay. Have you been to London before?
No.
Oh, okay.
I never go through the England
Oh, okay. Is that
or the Great Britain.
yeah? Is that something you would like to do in the future?
Maybe I would like to move on London in the future. It will be a good opportunity for me. I'm a software engineer.
Okay.
And technology industry is very big in England, London. London is about making a local Silicon Valley, you know.
Okay.
It will be a good opportunity for me. I would like to move on there.
Yeah, London certainly is a place with many opportunities. I think many benefits. The only downside to London possibly is it's an expensive city to live in. It always has been one of the most expensive in the world, and I think that probably is not going to change. But work-wise, opportunity-wise, and things to entertain you, keep you occupied. There are a lot of alternatives. So on the other side of the balance.
Yeah, it will be expensive for me, but I want to see how it's going. Maybe I don't want to make an investment right now, but I can expense all my money in London. It will be a good opportunity.
Yes, I think as the saying goes, you only live once. So I think it's good to be adventurous.
We only have one life.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Do you know anybody else who has lived in London or is currently living in London?
Actually, I don't have a friend living in London right now. Maybe before the times, I don't have a friend living in London.
Oh, I just wondered if anybody had maybe given you some ideas from their experiences. What London was like.
No, I don't have any experience information about the London. I just look from the outside of the country, and I saw something good, and I didn't saw anything about the wrong or bad sides.
Okay.
Maybe you can give me some information about the bad sides of the London or England.
Well, let's see.
Maybe we can talk about it. It
Mhm.
will be good for me.
Yeah, sure. I think it depends on your outlook, really, whether you see it as a positive or a negative. There is a quite sizable Turkish community in northern London, in the areas of Green Lane and Dalston. I've been there many times before, and the reason I've particularly visited that area, my first wife came from Mulla. And so she came after we were married to live in the UK. And I didn't live in London, but we would say go on a monthly basis to London shopping, really. So you could buy, all of the Turkish types of foods and things, especially in this area. And so she would stock up on goods like that. It depends whether or not you want a complete breakaway from Turkish society, or whether you see that as an advantage, being near, fellow countrymen, etc. But in that particular area, there were many cafes, restaurants, supermarkets, barber shops. It was just like living in Turkey, really, for this particular area of North London.
Yeah, it will be good.
Mm-hmm.
If you come from Turkey, it will be a
Yes.
good way to shopping.
Yeah, you certainly get all the home comforts, you could say, in that sense. So.
Actually, I have a question
Mm-hmm.
about the Great Britain,
Okay.
England. Last 1 month, I'm watching the Crown series on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about it?
Only from
Did you watch?
No, only from what other students have told me,
Yeah,
here on Cambly. But yeah.
they are serving the crown, the kingdom, the queen, etc. Something
Mm-hmm.
like that. It looks so interesting when you are looking in democratic country, if we say if Turkey is enough democratic, but over the everything on democratic side, there is one queen having the everything. Is it how it feel? How is it feeling to you? I'm just
Yeah. Well,
I'm just wondering how people think about it.
okay. I think opinions about the monarchy have changed over my lifetime. So let's see. When I was younger, and at school, for example, I would say a higher proportion of the population supported the monarchy. I remember, for example, in 1977, I was at school, and this was, let's see, 25 years into the reign of the current queen. So she'd been in power for that amount of time. There were street parties, many people putting decorations up in all parts of the United Kingdom to celebrate this. However, since that time, I've seen the monarchy go down like this in terms of popularity. And this is predominantly as a result of the way many of them have behaved in the last, say, 30 odd years, etc. And so I think that when the current queen dies, and she's 94 now, she's going to step aside, she said, next year when she's 95. But when her and her husband pass on, and they're not going to live, I don't think, too much longer, then I think there will be dramatic changes in the monarchy. Now, not that many people are in favour of them. Most people definitely do not like the potential new king, Prince Charles. The ones who still have an affinity for the monarchy think that his son should become the king, the eldest one. Me personally, I don't like the royals. I think they have a small value, and the only value I see in them is really from a touristic revenue earning perspective. Okay, I can live with that. But in terms of the taxpayer paying for the civil list, which it has shrunk over the years. So, for example, the taxpayer pays the Queen and her immediate family. Before that, it was even more. Now it's been brought back over time. But I still think that if, like anybody else, if they do a job, whether it's open something, a ceremony, give a speech, okay, they should get paid for it like anybody else. But they shouldn't automatically live a lifestyle at the people's expense. So, I am not a...
Actually, they are not getting pay. They are getting more pay for what did they do more than that. They are doing just like a touristic jobs, and they are getting huge expenses, and they live in very luxury. This is too much for a country, in my opinion.
Yeah, they get paid something for what we call from the civil list, which is what the people are paying for. The Queen is one of the most wealthy people in the world. If her family want to go and live a lavish lifestyle, okay, fine.
Yeah, definitely.
She can pay for it. I don't see why the normal tax people, payers, should pay for this lifestyle. And this, when they exploit this, and for example, the Queen never carries money. The handbag is only for show. Therefore, when they go visiting places, they expect to have everything given. Why? Because of her position. Really? I wouldn't expect that if I went somewhere. So I certainly don't expect why she should do that when she's got such enormous wealth, etc. I find it very difficult to say a lot positively about them, to be honest. I really do. And I think when she dies, many of the Commonwealth countries might sever the ties away from this institution, and they're just really waiting out of respect for her because she's been in power for such a long time. So I think maybe in 5 years' time you will see a very different situation, because I don't think she'll be here in that period of time, to be honest, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think like you about it. After the passing the Queen from the earth, it will be over for the monarchy.
Yeah.
I don't think that the English people let the Prince Charles to rule the kingdom. It's not. It will be enough for the monarchy in this world. It will be the end of the end area.
I don't know about the series you've watched, how realistic it is, or whether it's been open to interpretation and such, but there has been many stories over the years from people who have worked for the monarchy in different positions. They're not supposed to tell anybody about the information. They all usually sign contracts to say that once they leave employment, they won't talk about what happens in the palaces and so on. But a number of people have, in books and things like this. And, for example, the Queen never opens a door. So she can walk to a door and then just wait there. She won't open it because it's below her.
There is two men over there and waiting for the just Queen coming. In every day, every hour, every moment, they are just waiting on there just for opening the door. It's really expensive.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's really garbage money for throwing it away, just free. Yeah, that's Really
I,
ridiculous.
I think personally, respect is earned by people, by what they do, their behaviors, etc. And for somebody who cannot be bothered to open a door by themselves, they have hands. They're not,
Definitely.
infirm. They're capable. Just because they believe that they are here, and you and I and everybody else is here in life. And it's not through anything they have done personally. It's just through inheriting this wealth and inheriting this position. Wow. I have a lot more respect from people who start with nothing and then build businesses up and then, be able to be productive for society like that. But not somebody who has just given an astronomical amount of wealth like this. And Prince Charles is one of the worst, which is why people don't like him. That he cannot do anything for himself. He has to have his newspapers ironed. The shoelaces. He has to have all his clothes brought out and people dress him. Wow, how old are you? Gosh, when you're 4 years old, you can dress yourself. You don't need people to do
I think
this
like
for
that
you.
when I saw that.
It's crazy. So yeah, I am definitely not a royal supporter.
If we accept the Queen and the Prince Charles, it's okay for the United Kingdom. But looking from the outside, there is more princes, more prince, and it's a huge family. I think why you are paying for the Prince Edward's polo games expenses? Why you are paying for something like that? Another prince or princess's expenses. It's really huge. You are paying for a vacation, something about that family.
Well, if you
They are going on a vacation and having so much fun, and you are paying it. It's really good for them.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Yildirim. Definitely, I think there are.
I'm just wondering what English people thinking about it. In England, everyone is thinking about like you, or how much the percentage of the people's thinking like you.
I would.
Do you have any idea about
If
it?
I was to guesstimate now, based on what I've heard, what knowledge I have, I would say probably 40% might be in favour of the royals as it is now, 60 against. When the Queen dies, I think it might go down to like 20-80, something like that. So it's mainly the elder generation. So it's like, my mother's age. My mum is 90 now. But she's a bad example because she's not a royal either, but many of her generation are. So I think it will go from 40 who have a respect and liking for the Queen. Well, okay, that's one thing. But when she dies, that will disappear, and then everybody else will be a much lower level. There will always be a certain number of people who like this tradition and they think the royalty are wonderful and they will only see good in them. But I think that would be maybe 20% maximum of the people, maybe even less.
After the Prince Charles sitting on the crown, maybe in a few years, they will see the truth about the monarchy, and it will be over. Maybe it will be lower than the 20%.
Oh, if he is.
When they saw the Prince Charles, they will be going lower. They will be.
Well, apparently it will be next year. It will be maybe 6 months later. That's when the Queen is going to stand down, so she said, when she is 95 years old. So I think this is maybe June or July next year. So as it is at the moment, Charles is the one who will succeed her. But there has been a poll, but I don't know who by or how many people were included in the poll. But more people wanted his eldest son than him, and so he must be, quite concerned. Really, he's already, quite childish type person, and in the past, especially when Diana was alive, a lot of people liked her. Why? Well, because she was a little bit more a regular person. I wouldn't say she was normal, but she did come from an elite background. But at least she could, associate with normal people. She would spend time talking to normal people in the streets and such, which virtually all of the current ones, they have no time for the normal people. They don't speak to normal people. They only speak, basically get in and out of a car, go and talk to relatives or elite in society. They would have no idea what a normal person thought, opinions of the world and such. So they're quite shocked when people turn their backs on them. And, when they read reports that, their popularity has faded dramatically, they're quite shocked. Why? What have we done? Well, take a long, hard look at yourself, really.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Interesting.
So I don't know what will happen after that, whether or not we will, have a republic or a presidency. I have no idea, really. But, I think the monarchy, whether it will still be a figurehead, but it might be one, for example, I don't know, like Holland or Denmark, like this, where they still have royals, but really they are seen as normal people out on a bicycle in, Amsterdam or things like this. I don't know, to be honest, really, rather than one with so much.
Yeah, definitely. It will be fitting the better for the England.
Yeah. But apart from the tourist aspect, wearing all the old uniforms and the ceremonies, things like that, I think, that's outdated, really. I don't think, in modern society, you need to behave and adopt this type of behavior. So you're lucky you don't have a monarchy.
Yeah. We don't have a monarchy. We are just fully democratic right now. In democratic ways, can we say it's everyone is equal? Every people is equal in the country. That's another discussion about that.
Okay. And do you also follow politics?
Maybe sometimes. Actually, I follow in all day, but I don't like it. It's just sad for me.
Yeah, I think as over time all around the world, I'm more, dispirited with the way many leaders and countries behave. When I was maybe younger, in my teens, 20s, I was quite, I guess, interested, politically active. But now I more or less see the vast majority of politicians in it for their own gain, regardless of what party that they represent, etc., which is a sad indictment in terms of people's behavior, really. It's a good way of networking, be able to socially advance yourself and, at the expense of the people who are voting, basically. But we're a little bit naive to see that, I think.
Yeah, it's more than a democratic ways. It's just a society. Let's drink water.
Yeah. And are you a sports fan, Yildirim? Many of your countrymen are.
Yeah. Actually, about 1 hour or 2 hours ago, we were watching Liverpool's game with Crystal Palace.
Okay. So is that the British team that you like, Liverpool?
Yeah, Liverpool is my
Mm-hmm.
favorite team in England. When I was a child in
Mm-hmm.
2005, I was watching the Champions
Mm-hmm.
League final, and I saw two teams. I was about 7 or 8 years old. I saw two teams, the red
Yeah.
one and the white one. And Liverpool is Liverpool won the
Mm-hmm.
title, and that's it. I love the Liverpool, and from then, I will be the Liverpool fan. That's the story of my Liverpool
Okay.
story.
So. Mm-hmm.
And today's I like the other
Mm-hmm.
teams than the Liverpool. I think the Leicester City is a good
Mm-hmm.
fit for me. They made a history about 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know in which year.
That was a big surprise. I don't think at the start of that
Yeah,
season.
definitely.
I think the odds of them winning the championship were very small. So
That was
it's good
history.
though, because I think most fans like myself, say neutral ones, always like to see the smaller teams beat the bigger ones, not the same ones again and again. So that's why most people were happy when Leicester won the league. With the exception of the Manchester City, Chelsea, and the big five teams, really. Do you follow the football in the Super League?
In
Mm-hmm.
Turkey. Yeah, actually, for 2 years in
Mm-hmm.
today, I didn't watch Turkish football leagues games because it's not a good league. It's not a good games. I don't like that. I'm not a fan about the teams, or I'm not
Mm-hmm.
uh, fall in love and team or a player. I'm just watching for a good
Mm-hmm.
times for a fun, and I'm just watching English
Mm.
Premier.
I've visited probably, I'm guessing now, more than 50 different stadiums watching games in Turkey before. I've probably nearly done 1,100 all around the world in different countries. It's one of my many interests and hobbies. But I haven't been to Turkey now since about 11 years, I think now. So when I was visiting, especially in the Super League, that was when Turkey were having, their halcyon times. This is when Turkey came third in the World Cup in 2002, and Galatasaray were one of the strong teams in Europe, and Fenerbahce, Beşiktaş were also reasonably strong. But yeah, I agree with you. The quality has diminished, over
Definitely
the
decreasing in
years.
every year,
Yeah.
every year.
And other fans say it's really down to money, that the big clubs cannot compete anymore for the top quality players. So yeah, they've dropped that standard. Yeah. Do you,
But I'm just looking for the
mm-hmm.
result. Football is not in a good quality, and I don't care the money. I don't care the economics in
Yeah.
football industry in Turkey. I'm just looking for the result. The game is not good, and I don't like that. I'm just looking at my way, and I'm watching
Yeah.
another league. That's it.
Who,
I'm not. I'm not going to solve the problem. I'm just looking for the
who do
result.
you think will win the Premier League this season?
At the beginning of the year, I'm just saying that Manchester City will be won the title, but in today, I can say Liverpool make it again.
I think Liverpool will be slight favourites. I would agree with that. Oh, I think our time, Yildirim, is nearly finished. So I'll say çok memnun oldum. Hadi görüşürüz. Kendine iyi bak.